best thing about a plant-based diet is that it makes you better than everyone else in every possible way and gives you this ethical nobility that's just the sweetest thing ever. But apart from this, it's also really healthy for your body and it's better for the environment. However, one big drawback that I and many other people have found with a plant-based diet is it's harder to eat foods that have a lot of sustenance in them, that are jam-packed full of kilojoules and protein. Perhaps you're working for many hours on end or you're doing manual labor, so you really need that energy, that fuel. Eating a banana or a fruit, for instance, might burn your inner candle for half an hour or 40 minutes, but sometimes you need a candle that's going to burn for 3, 4, 5 or 6 hours. And that's what we're going to explore today. Some extremely dense, really nutritious vegan options for your plant-based diet, in particular for your morning routine, that are easy to prepare, super quick, super delicious, and just perfect in every single possible way. Nut butters. Nut butters are extremely overlooked, it seems, by all of society, because if you have this for breakfast, it's not only going to give you long-lasting energy, but because there's a lot of healthy oil in it, it's going to give you that immediate flash of flame almost. You're going to have energy pulsing through your body for hours on end, and it is exactly what you want for a breakfast. Going by the idiom of it is the most important meal of the day, that's because if you do this, you're just going to start your brain on the right note. This is all healthy energy that's going to supercharge your brain, supercharge your muscles. It's got a lot of protein in it, so if you're doing hard physical work, it's going to help you build muscle. It is really the perfect breakfast food. Also, it is extremely varietous in nature. There's many options for you to choose from. It's not going to be a boring breakfast, because if you might start with almond butter, which is actually fantastic. It tastes wonderful. But if you get bored of almond butter, you can move on to Brazil butter. And if you get bored of that, you can move on to cashew butter. If you get bored of that, you can move on to ABC butter, which is a combination of all of which. A hazelnut butter is actually really fantastic. You get varieties which have no added sugar. They're extremely healthy, full of protein, but they taste really amazing, almost like Ferrero Rochers. They taste wonderful. A peanut butter spread, of course, comes in many varieties. Peanuts are not actually a nut, but so what? It doesn't matter. They still taste good. They still have tons of energy and protein in them. Tahini spread I've been trying out lately. It's an extremely strong taste. That's a taste for people who are hardcore. That taste alone will wake you up if you put a nice big fat spread of that on your toast. But that really is the key with this food source. Don't use nut butters as a small layer of margarine on your toast or on a rice cracker. You want to be putting thick load of nut butter on whatever you're using as a carbohydrate base. A little tip for this is if you want to put a lot on, you can use a butter knife as always, but you want to put a lot on. So go for the tablespoon and chunk it on there nice and thick, 1 centimeter or like half an inch or 1/4 of an inch full. Just a nice few tablespoons of nut butter is going to give you tons of energy. If you have this at 7 a.m., you probably could skip lunch and be fine. There is so much healthy energy in nut butters. Try it out. You've got nothing to lose. And have I mentioned that some of these nut butters are combined with cacao? Cacao in itself is also really good for you. If there's, you can find a variety that has no added sugar in it, then this just tastes like heaven. It's the best way to start your day. It's like eating almost solid mocha. It's really, really, really wonderful. I cannot recommend it enough. If there's one thing you take away from this video, just try putting thick layers of nut butter on your next morning toast. The avocado. Of course, I can't make this video without mentioning the noble, glorious, wonderful avocado. But if we're being honest, I don't think it's quite good enough to really make the list of what we're after, because when I eat one, It barely lasts me maybe 2 or 3 hours if I'm lucky, but it's still a great choice. But there's something you need to keep in mind, a few tips. If you really want more energy than a couple of hours, what you can do is, first of all, don't be shy to eat a lot of avocado. Definitely eat the whole thing, don't just put it on as a spread. Eat it in chunks, eat the whole thing. If it's a smallish, medium-sized avocado, maybe eat 2 even. Also, if you want some extra energy, you can put, if you're putting it on toast for instance, you can put a nice thick layer of margarine on it. That will just give you that extra bit of kilojoules you need, that extra 500 or 1000 kilojoules that can take you those extra few hours. That's a short one because we all know the wonderful benefits of the avocado, but another way to yet extend its life is to combine it with our third option. Nuts. Nuts, they are so fantastic because there's such a wide variety of flavors and choices for you to choose from, all of which are jam-packed full of kilojoules and other very healthy substances. So, again, the trick is to not be shy with your nut intake. Eat a lot of it until you feel really full, because that way you're going to get energy for hours on end. The one thing I will say though is nuts, compared to the other choices here, don't digest as easily. So to help out with that, of course, you can chew it more properly, chew it more thoroughly, but also it helps to eat something that will give you a bit of initial hit while the peanuts just go through your digestive system. So what can really help with that, for instance, is some fruits. An apple, for instance, has some really nice acidity to it, which will help digest the peanuts. Or whatever nut you're eating, and it will give you that immediate first hit of sugar, glucose, that is also going to get you started, but then you're going to have that sustained energy to go through. Nuts are a very humble type of food, but not to be overlooked because there's so many choices. It's like eating cereal in a way. You can just pour it straight from a packet into a bowl, even if you're already at work or at the work site, wherever you are. You can just put a bit in your hand, chuck it in your mouth and eat it. A very humble, innocent looking food, but one that can really help give you many hours of sustained energy so that once you start working, you can keep focused, keep doing what you're doing, and really achieve in life. But wait, there's more. We're going to look at coffee now as well, as a bonus, because I'm not going to make a separate video about that. But let's face it, coffee is a very important part of many people's morning routine, and that caffeine hit really does wake you up. If you've got something important to do in the morning, caffeine can be a great way to supercharge you for a little while. So what I'm going to do today is share with you what I personally guarantee, I will put my reputation on it, that this is the best instant coffee that you can make. So what you need is, of course, some coffee. I recommend Starbucks Dark Roast. It is really wonderful, really strong, really premium tasting coffee. Of course, you'll probably need some sugar. To give you even an extra hit of long-lasting energy, I highly recommend putting some MCT oil in your coffee because it doesn't taste like anything. It gives your coffee that sense of having more sustenance. It's more filling. In terms of milk, by far the best brand that I have found is Coco Quench. And what I would recommend is, again, don't be shy. Don't put a tad of milk into your boiled water as you would with a normal coffee. Instead, fill the whole cup with Coco Quench and then put that in the microwave because that way it's going to be much more rich, dense, and satisfying. And there you go, some fantastic, vegan, really sustaining breakfast options. Of course, though, I'm very open-minded and I welcome anyone to share their favorite vegan breakfast options. If you really like it, if you think it's really an awesome breakfast idea. But remember, it should be easy to make and you shouldn't need all kinds of fancy ingredients or like a degree in fancy cooking techniques. And now with that knowledge, I would like to invite you to go out and serve the world as best you can. Be a fountain of love unto the world, be a gift unto the world, and don't let anyone stand in your way of pursuing your highest calling. Eating a healthy, sustaining breakfast like this is almost a superpower. With this knowledge, you can go change the world, you can be the master of your destiny, and you can be the author of your fate. So make your dreams come true, don't let anyone stop you, and go be a gift to the world.